Hello. Welcome. Listen, we got some reading to do tonight. I think this is the most reading we've done in a day. So we're just gonna tackle it head on. There was no devotional video, so nothing's linked in the description. Just a bit of insight on what we're gonna get through. Yesterday, we realized that the Israelites have finally succeeded in defeating a majority of their enemies, right? They defeated 31 kings in total. And now the land promised to their ancestors is theirs, and now they have to go about dividing it up by lots, and we're gonna just kind of see what happens, because there was one tribe that tricked themselves into receiving a peace treaty with the Israelites, and now we're gonna have to read through and see how that plays out. All of these dynamics, right? So people got land that the Israelites have won land. They've won riches. They've won livestock. They've gained so much, right? They have not slave laborers, but they have laborers, servants, who will be working under them now as the Gilead tribe that tricked them into this treaty, right? But now we have this now foreign population of dissension, essentially, because these were all people that were meant to be wiped out and eradicated for their sinful ways in nature. So we'll see how that starts to bleed into the Israelites' beliefs and the Israelite way of life, really. Let's see. It's just that. Yeah, yesterday left off at the defeat of the 31 kings. So we are going to start at the top of Joshua 13 and then just kind of ride through as much as we can. I will try to keep my commentary to a minimum, but like sometimes some of these things just don't make any sense. Or they do, and they're just like, wait a minute, I don't get it, what's going on, how? You know, they just stop me in my tracks. So, but I'm not trying to have us here all day and all night, so let's just read as much as it seems reasonable, as much as I can understand it. Like, once I don't understand it, though, I have to stop. That's the way of this. That's the way this is. That's how this plays out. I stop when I get confused. We're gonna move into Joshua 13. Is the land yet to be conquered? When Joshua was an old man, the Lord said to him, "You are growing old, and much land remains to be conquered. This is the territory that remains: all the regions of the Philistines and the Gershurites, and the larger territory of the Canaanites, extending from the stream of Shihor to the border of Egypt, northward to the boundary of Ekron. It includes the territory of the 5 Palestine rulers of Gaza, Ashdod, Ashkelon, Gath, and Ekron. The land of the Avites in the south also remains to be conquered. In the north, the following area has yet been conquered: all the land of the Canaanites, including Mira, which belongs to the Shidonites, stretching northward to Aphek on the border of the Amorites, the land of the Gebalites, and all the Lebanon mountain area to the east, from Balgad below Mount Hermon to Lebanon, Hamath, and all the hill country from Lebanon to Misrephoth Maim. including all the land of the Shedonites. Shedonite. Yeah. Ooh. Shedonites. Okay, this gonna be one of those get all the name pronunciations right kind of videos, and that's okay. That is okay. Bear with me and give me grace. Thank you. I myself will drive those people out of the land ahead of the Israelites. So be sure to give this land to Israel as a special possession, just as I have commanded you. Include all this territory as Israel's possession when you divide the land among the 9 tribes and among the 9 tribes and the half tribe of Manasseh. The Lord divided the land divided east of the Jordan. Half the tribe of Manasseh and the tribes of Reuben and Gad had already received their grants of land on the east side of the Jordan, for Moses, the servant of the Lord, had previously assigned this land to them. Their territory extended from Erer on the edge of the Arnon Gorge, including the town in the middle of the gorge, to the plain beyond Medeba, as far as Dibon. It also included all the towns of King Sihon of the Amorites, who had reigned in Heshbon and extended as far as the borders of Ammon. It included Gilead, the territory of the kingdoms of Geshur and Makkah, all of Mount Hermon, all of Bashan. I'm sorry. All of Mount Hermon, all of Bashan as far as Shelek, and all the territory of King Og of Bashan, who had reigns in Ashtaroth and Edrei. King Og was the last of the Rephites, for Moses had attacked them and driven them out. But the Israelites failed to drive out the people of Geshur and Makkah, so they continue to live among the Israelites to this day. And allotments for the tribe of Levi. Moses did not assign any allotment of land to the tribe of Levi. Instead, as the Lord had promised them, their allotment came from the offerings burned on the altar to the Lord, the God of Israel. The land given to the tribe of Reuben. Moses had assigned the following area to the clans of the tribe of Reuben. Their territory extended from Aroer on the edge of Arnon Gorge, including the town in the middle of the gorge, to the plain beyond Medeba. It included Heshbon and the other towns on the plain, Dibon, Bamath Baal, Beth-Baal-Meon, Gaza, or Jaza, Kedemoth, Mephath, Kiriath-Ahim, Sibma, Zereth, Shahar, on the hill above the valley, Beth Peor, the slopes of Pisgah, and Beth Jeshimoth. The land of Reuben also included all the towns of the plain and the entire kingdom of Sihon. Sihon was an Amorite king who had reigned in Heshbon and was killed by Moses along with the leaders of Midian, Evi, Rakim, Zur, Hur, and Reba. Whatever. princes living in the region who were allied with Sheba. The Israelites had also killed Balaam, son of Beor, who used magic to tell the future. The Jordan River marked the western boundary for the tribe of Reuben. The towns and their surrounding villages in this area were given as a homeland to the clans of the tribe of Reuben. The land given to the tribe of Gad. Moses had assigned the following area to the clans of the tribe of Gad. Their territory included Gazer, all the towns of Gilead, and half of the land of Ammon. As far as the town of Aroer, just west of Rabbah, it extended from Heshbon to Ramath Mizpah, and Bethanim. And from Mahanaim to the territory of Lodebar. In the valley of Beth Haram, in the valley were Beth Haram, Beth Niram, Succoth, Zaphon, and the rest of the kingdom of King Shihon of Heshbon. The western boundary ran along the Jordan River, extended as far north as the tip of the Sea of Galilee, and then turned eastward. The towns and their surrounding villages in this area were given as a homeland to the clans of the tribe of Gad. The land given to half the tribe of Manasseh. Moses also assigned the following area to the clans of the half tribe of Manasseh. Their territory extended from Mahanaim, including all of Bashan, all the former kingdom of King Og, and the 60 towns of Jair in Bashan. It also included half of Gilead and King Og's royal cities of Ashtaroth and Edrei. All of this was given to the clans of the descendants of Machir, who was Manasseh's son. These are the allotments Moses had made while he was on the plains of Moab, across the Jordan River, east of Jericho. But Moses gave no allotment of land to the tribe of Levi, for the Lord, the God of Israel, had promised that he himself would be their allotment. The land divided west of the Jordan. The remaining tribes of Israel received land in Canaan as allotted by Eleazar the priest. Okay. Joshua, son of Nun, and the tribal leaders. These 9.5 tribes received their grants of land by means of sacred lots in accordance with the Lord's command through Moses. Moses had already given a grant of land to the 2.5 tribes on the east side of the Jordan River, but he had given the Levites no such allotment. The descendants of Joseph had become 2 separate tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim. Okay? And the Levites were given no lands at all, only towns to live in within surrounding pasture lands for their livestock and all their possessions. So the land was distributed in strict accordance with the Lord's commands to Moses. Caleb requests his land. A delegation from the tribe of Judah, led by Caleb, son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, came to Joshua at Gilgal. Caleb said to Joshua, "Remember what the Lord said to Moses, the man of God, about you and me when we were at Kadesh Barnea." Right. Caleb was the other guy who scouted the promised land for 40 nights when Moses sent out scouts. And then he came back and he was like, "Yeah, no, we can defeat them. We're good." And Joshua backed him up and he was like, yeah, you're right. We got this. The Lord is on our side. So Caleb was promised like a large allotment of the promise, or like the promised land area. So, what it said to me when we were at Kadesh Barnea, I was 40 years old when Moses, the servant of the Lord, sent me to Kadesh Barnea to explore the land of Canaan. I returned and gave an honest report, but my brothers who went with me frightened the people from entering the promised land. For my part, I wholly followed the Lord my God. So that day, Moses solemnly promised me, the land of Canaan on which you were just walking on will be your grant of land and not of your descendants forever, because you wholeheartedly followed the Lord my God. Now, essentially, Caleb and Joshua are the only survivors of the whole 40 years in the wilderness. Alright, so Joshua 14:10. Now, as you can see, the Lord has kept me alive and well, as he promised for all these 45 years since Moses made this promise. Even while Israel wandered in the wilderness, today I am 85 years old. I am as strong now as I was when Moses sent me on that journey, and I can still travel and fight as well as I could then. So give me the hill country that the Lord promised me. You will remember that as scouts we found the descendants of Anak living there in great walled towns. But if the Lord is with me, I will drive them out of the land, just as the Lord said. So Joshua blessed Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and gave Hebron to him as his portion of the land. Hebron still belongs to the descendants of Caleb, son of Jephunneh, the Canaanites, because he wholeheartedly followed the Lord, the God of Israel. Previously, Hebron had been called Kiriath Arba. It had been named after Arba, a great hero of the descendants of Anak, and the land had rest from war. Joshua 15, the land given to the tribe of Judah. The allotment for the clans of the tribe of Judah reached southward to the border of Edom, as far as south as the wilderness of Zin. The southern boundary began at the south bay of the Dead Sea, ran south of Scorpion's Pass into the wilderness of Zin, and then went south of Kadesh Barnea to Hezron. Then it went up to Adar, where it turned toward Karka. From there it passed to Azmon, until it finally reached the brook of Egypt, which it followed to the Mediterranean Sea. This was their southern boundary. The eastern boundary extended along the Dead Sea to the mouth of the Jordan River. The northern boundary began at the bay where the Jordan River empties into the Dead Sea, went up from there to Beth Hogla, then proceeded north of Beth Arba to the stone of Bohan. Bohan was Reuben's son. From that point, it went through the valley of Achor to Debris, turning north toward Gilgal, which is across from the slopes of Adumim. on the south side of the valley. From there, the boundary extended to the springs of Enchimesh on to Enrol in Enrojo. The boundary had passed through the valley of Ben Himon along the southern slopes of the Jebusites, where the city of Jerusalem is located. Then it went west to the top of the mountain above the valley of Himon, and on up to the northern end of the valley of Rephaim. From there, the boundary extended from the top of the mountain to the spring at the waters of Nephtoah, and from there to the towns of Mount Ephron. Then it turned from Baalah, that is Kiriath Jearim, Kiriath Jearim. The boundary circled west of Baalah to Mount Shear, passed along to the town of Kesalon on the northern slope of Mount Jearim, and went down to Beth Shemesh and on to Timnah. The boundary then proceeded to slope. The boundary then proceeded to the slope of the hill north of Ekron, where it turned toward Shekaron and Mount Baalah. It passed Jabneel and ended at the Mediterranean Sea. The western boundary was the shoreline of the Mediterranean Sea. These are the boundaries for the clans of the tribe of Judah. Is there a video of this? Can I watch it? Can I watch a video of like the allotments of land to the tribes of Israel? Please give me something. Save me from myself. Is there videos? Are there videos? I'm sure there are videos that handle this way better than me. This is an hour. What does this talk about? Okay, it's so weird because these videos range from 1 minute to an hour. It just jumps from 1 minute. This one's 3 minutes long, and then how's that 5 seconds? How does that work? And then it goes to this one's an hour. Can I get something somewhere between, please? Something. So I really, I want to read this, and I'm gonna read it. But it's so over my head that it doesn't make sense to me. Okay, that one talks about the tribe of Levi specifically. And it talks about the allotment of land and the inheritance as a watchtower in the library. Does it talk about all of it? Yeah, sure. Except This is a video or no? Video.
Have you ever wondered how Jehovah views you? Some of our dear brothers and sisters struggle with feelings of unworthiness. It's important for us to know that
That's
Jehovah God loves and values each of his worshipers. And this includes you.
Okay.
Chapter 20 of the Pure Worship book discusses the heartwarming encouragement we can receive from Ezekiel's last vision. The title is Allot the Land as an Inheritance, based on Ezekiel chapter 45, verse 1. Please, read that with me. When you allot the land as an inheritance, you should offer as a contribution to Jehovah a holy portion out of the land. Its length should be 25,000 cubits, and its width 10,000 cubits. Its entire area will be a holy portion. As you study this chapter, you'll learn this reassuring lesson. No matter how modest our responsibility in the earthly part of God's organization may be, each of us has a secure place in the spiritual paradise. How loving of Jehovah to give Ezekiel a vision that's filled with such encouragement and assurance. May this chapter help you to become fully convinced that you are precious to Jehovah and that he values all that you do in his service.
I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find a video that talks about like the biblical geography and like how all of it is conquered and then divided amongst the Israelites. There's gotta be someone who did it. There's gotta be someone who's got the more brain power for this stuff and more who did this, because that would help me. I'm a visual person and I feel like I'm just reading names that I don't really know, I'm not familiar with, so like I can't figure out what parts of land that is. I'm already bad at geography of this day and age. Like ancient Israel, like territories, was not geography that I'm familiar with. So I feel like someone out there as a historian or as a studier of the biblical text, someone's done this work already, and I just need to be in the right corner of the internet to find it. So that's gonna be yet another goal of mine. And when I do, if I do, hopefully I will, hopefully that is somewhere out here on this interwebs, I'll share it with you guys if it's informative and actually helps my brain stop trying to piece this together, just so my brain doesn't like imagine well, so like it just feels so foggy, which is hard to read when it's feeling foggy like that, Anyway, yeah, okay. When does this start, the allotments, anyway? Does it start at the top of 13? This is the land yet to be conquered. Yeah, Joshua 13. Okay. Did we finish? We're 15, right? We're 15. These from the land. Okay, so we did Judah. So now we are at Joshua 13, Joshua 15:13, the land given to Caleb. The Lord commanded Joshua to assign some of Judah's territory to Caleb, son of Jephunneh. So Caleb was given the town of Kiriath Arba, This was Hebron, which had been named after Anak's ancestors. Caleb drove out 3 groups of Anakites, the descendants of Shishai, Iman, and Talmai, the sons of Anak. From there, he went to fight against the people living in the town of Debra, formerly called Kiriath Sephir. Caleb said, I will give my daughter Aksha in marriage to the one who attacks and captures Kiriath Sephir. Othniel, the son of Caleb's brother, Kenaz, was the one who conquered it. Okay, so Caleb's daughter married his nephew? So Aksha became Othniel's wife. When Aksha married Othniel, she urged him to ask her father for a field. As she got down off her donkey, Caleb asked her, What's the matter? She said, Give me another gift. You have already given me land in the Negev. Now please give me springs of water too. So Caleb gave her the upper and lower springs, the towns allotted to Judah. This was the homeland allotted to the clans of the tribe of Judah. The towns of Judah situated along the borders of Edom in the extreme south were Kabzel, Eder, Jagar, Kina, Demona, Okay, hold on, because I'm not trying to just sit here struggling. Like, let's see. How about we do
Chapter 50.
Nope, not from there. Can I get the settings? Thanks. We'll go from verse 20. Because there's so many names in verse 20.
She said, Give me another gift. You have already given me land in the Negev. Now please give me. This was the homeland allocated to the clans of the tribe of Judah. The towns of Judah situated along the borders of Edom in the extreme south were Kabzel, Eder, Kina, Demona, Adada, Kedesh, Hazor, Ithnan, Ziph, Telem, Bealoth, Hazar-Hadata, Kiriath Hezron, that is, Hazor, Amam, Shema, Moladah, Hazor-Gada, Heshmon, Beth-Pelet, Hazor-Shul, Beersheba, Biziothea, Baalah, Eam, Ezem, Iltalad, Kizel, Hormah, Ziklag, Madmana, Sansana, Lebaoth, Shilhim, Ain, and Rimmon, 29 towns with their surrounding villages. The following towns, situated in the western foothills, were also given to Judah: Eshtaol, Zorah, Ashna, Zanoah, En-Ganim, Tapua, Enam, Jarmuth, Adullam, Soko, Azekah, Shearaim, Adithium, Gedera, and Gederothium, 14 towns with their surrounding villages. Also included were Zenan, Hadashah, Migdal-Gad, Dilian, Mizpeh, Joktheel, Lachish, Bozkath, Eglon, Kabon, Lamam, Kitlish, Gederoth, Beth-Dagon, Naamah, and Makkedah, 16 towns with their surrounding villages. Besides these, there were Libnah, Ether, Ashan, Ibtha, Ashna, Nezib, Keilah, Akzib, and Maresha, 9 towns with their surrounding villages. The territory of the tribe of Judah also included Ekron and its surrounding settlements and villages. From Ekron, the boundary extended west and included the towns near Ashdod with their surrounding villages. It also included Ashdod with its surrounding settlements and villages, and Gaza with its settlements and villages, as far as the brook of Egypt and along the coast of the Mediterranean Sea. Judah also received the following towns in the hill country: Shamir, Jatir, Soko, Dana, Kiriath-Sena, that is Eber, Anab, Eshtemoth, Anim, Goshen, Holon, and Gilo, 11 towns with their surrounding villages. Also included were the towns of Arab, Duma, Eshan, Janam, Beth Tapua, Afika, Humta, Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, and Zior, 9 towns with their surrounding villages. Besides these, there were Maon, Carmel, Sif, Juta, Jezreel, Jokdeam,
They got so
Zanoah,
much.
Ain, Gibeah, and Timnah, 10 towns with their surrounding villages. In addition, there were Halhol, Beth-zur, Gedor, Merarath, Beth-Enoth, and Eltekon, 6 towns with their surrounding villages. There were also Kiriath-Baal, that is Kiriath-Jearim, and Rabbah, 2 towns with their surrounding villages. In the wilderness, there were the towns of Beth-Araba, Middin, Sikaga, Nibshan, the city of Salt, and En-Gedi, 6 towns with their surrounding villages. But the tribe of Judah could not drive out the Jebusites who lived in the city of Jerusalem. So the Jebusites live there among the people of Judah to this day. Nibshan. In the wilderness, there were the towns of Beth-Araba, Middin, Nibshan, the city of Salt, and En-Gedi, 6 towns with their surrounding.
En-Gedi. I love that. Yeah, bruh. I'm sorry. I couldn't be struggling through all them names. It was, yeah. We'll pretend I read those myself. Moving on. Joshua 16. The land given to Ephraim, the west and west of Manasseh. The allotment of the descendants of Joshua extended from the Jordan River near Jericho, east of the springs of Jericho, through the wilderness and into the hill country of Bethel. From Bethel, this is Luz, it ran over to Athroth in the territory of the Arkites. Then it descended westward to the territory of the Jephthalites, as far as the lower Beth Horon, then to Gerza, and over to the Mediterranean Sea. This was the homeland allocated to the families of Joseph's sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. The land given to Ephraim. The following territory was given to the clans of the tribes of Ephraim. The boundary of their homeland began at Etheroth Adar in the east. From there it ran to Upper Beth Horon, then on to the Mediterranean Sea. From Methhath to the north, and to the border curved eastwards toward Tanath Shiloh. To the east of the Genoa. From Genoa, it turned southward to Atharoth and Narah, touched Jericho, and ended at the Jordan River. From Tapua, the boundary extended westward, following the Kana ravine to the Mediterranean Sea. And this is the homeland allocated to the clans of the tribe of Ephraim. In addition, some towns with their surrounding villages in the territory allocated to the half-tribe of Manasseh were set aside for the tribe of Ephraim. They did not drive the Canaanites out of Gezer, however, so the people of Gezer live as slaves among the people of Ephraim to this day. The land given to the west Manasseh. Okay. The next allotment of land was given to the half-tribe of Manasseh, the descendant of Joseph's older son. Machir, the firstborn son of Manasseh, was the father of Gilead. Because his descendants were experienced soldiers, the regions of Gilead and Bashan on the east side of the Jordan had already been given to them. So the allotment of the west side of the Jordan was for the remaining families within the clans of the tribe of Manasseh. Ebezer, Helek, Asherel, Shechem, Hepher, and Shemida. These clans represented the male descendants of Manasseh's son of son of Joseph. However, Zelophehad, a descendant of Hepher, son of Gilead, son of Machir, son of Manasseh, had no sons. He had only daughters, whose names were Mala, Noah, Hogla, Milcah, and Tirzah. Now remember that these were the 5 girls who had already came before Moses and demanded that their father's name, he fought hard, he shouldn't be, his clan should still get rights for the land, because why should they be denied inheritance since just because his father had no sons. So then it sort of changed the laws, or prompted the writing of the laws of inheritance, which was, the sons, and then the daughters, and then the uncles, and sons, and then the daughters, and then the uncles, and then the closest relative to, I think it went down one other thing, but that sort of changed this. These women came to Eleazar the priest, they came to Eleazar the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the Israelite leaders, and said, "The Lord commanded Moses to give us a grant of land along with the men of our tribe." So Joshua gave them a grant of land along with their uncles, as the Lord had commanded. As a result, Manasseh's total allocation came to 10 parcels of land, in addition to the land of Gilead and Bashan across the Jordan River, because the female descendants of Manasseh received a grant of land along with the male descendants. The land of Gilead was given to the rest of the male descendants of Manasseh. Okay, so the boundary of the tribe of Manasseh extended from the border of Asher to Mikmetha, near Shechem, and then the boundary went south from Mikmetha to the settlement near the spring of Tappuah. The lands surrounding Tappuah belonged to Manasseh, but the town of Tappuah itself, on the border of Manasseh's territory, belonged to the tribe of Ephraim. From the spring of Tappuah, the boundary of Manasseh followed the Kana ravine to the Mediterranean Sea. Several towns south of the ravine were inside Manasseh's territory, but they actually belonged to the tribe of Ephraim. Okay. In general, however, the land south of the ravine belonged to Ephraim, and the land north of the ravine belonged to Manasseh. Manasseh's boundary ran along the northern side of the ravine and ended at the Mediterranean Sea. North of Manasseh was the territory of Asher, and to the east was the territory of Issachar. The following towns within the territory of Issachar and Asher, however, were given to Manasseh: Bethshan, Idlim, Dor. This is Naphthathor. Okay. Oh wait, the meaning of Hebrew here is okay. Wait. So, Dor, his name is Naphthathor. Right? Those are one person. And then Endor, Tanakh, and Megiddo, each with their surrounding settlements. But the descendants of Manasseh were unable to occupy these towns because the Canaanites were determined to stay in that region. Later, however, when the Israelites became strong enough, they forced the Canaanites to work as slaves, but they did not drive them out of the land. The descendants of Joseph came to Joshua and asked, "Why have you given us only one portion of land as our homeland when the Lord has blessed us with so many people?" Joshua replied, "If there were so many of you, and if the hill country of Ephraim is not large enough for you, clear out the land for yourselves in the forest where the Perizzites and the Rephaites live." I thought the king was the last Rephaite. I thought Rephaites were extinct. The descendants of Joseph responded, "It's true that the hill country is not large enough for us, but all the Canaanites in the lower lands have iron chariots, both those in Beth-shan and its surrounding settlements and those in the valley of Isreal. They are too strong for us." Come on, but it's not just you. You're going with the Lord. Like, get it together. Get it together. The descendants of Joseph. What is it, like a specific descendant? Okay, it's just the descendants of Joseph. Okay. So, they said that they were too strong for them. So then we are at verse 17, Joshua 17. Then Joshua said to the tribes of Ephraim and Manasseh, the descendants of Joseph, "Since you are so large and strong, you will be given more than one portion. The forest of the hill country will be yours as well. Clear as much of the land as you wish, and take possession of its furthest corners. And you will drive out the Canaanites from the valleys too, even though they are strong and have iron chariots." So then we get the allotment of the remaining land. So remember that the land wasn't just one in like one fell swipe and they had all the land, right? Because God said, if I did that, you would be overrun by the wild animals. And I don't want that to happen to you, so we're going to drive these people out slowly as you continue to grow and stabilize. So now they're at the point where they've grown and stabilized and they can go fight for the rest of their remaining land. So now that the land was under Israelite control, the entire community of Israel gathered at Shiloh and set up the tabernacle. But the remaining 7 tribes who had not yet been allotted their grants of land, So 7 tribes still need land. Then Joshua asked them, "How long are you going to wait before taking possession of the remaining land the Lord, the God of your ancestors, has given to you? Select 3 men from each tribe, and I will send them out to explore the land and map it out." Okay, so I'm assuming this is Joshua speaking. And then, oh, he was asking from the "how long are you gonna wait?" Okay, so, and Joshua's like, "How long are you gonna wait? Like, send 3 men. I'm gonna send them out to explore. The 3 men from each tribe is gonna be my scouts, right? So 36 men. They're scouting the land. They will then return to me with a written report of their proposed divisions of their new homeland. Let them divide the land into 7 sections, excluding Judah's territory in the south and Joseph's territory in the north. And when you record the 7 divisions of the land and bring them to me, I will cast sacred lots in the presence of the Lord our God to assign land to each tribe. The Levites, however, will not receive any allotment of land. Their role as priests of the Lord is their allotment, and the tribes of Gad, Reuben, and half the tribe of Manasseh won't receive any more land. for they have already received their grant of land, which Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave them on the east side of the Jordan River. As the men started on their way to map out the land, Joshua commanded them, "Go and explore the land and write a description of it. Then return to me, and I will assign the land to the tribes by casting sacred lots here in the presence of the Lord at Shiloh." The men did as they were told and mapped the entire territory into 7 sections, listing the towns in each section. They made a written record and then returned to Joshua in the camp of Shiloh. And there at Shiloh, Joshua cast sacred lots in the presence of the Lord to determine which tribe should have which section. The land given to Benjamin, the first allotment of land, went to the clans of the tribes of Benjamin. It lay between the territory assigned to the tribes of Judah and Joseph. Okay. The northern boundary of Benjamin's land began at the Jordan River, went north to slope the Jericho, then west through the hill country and the wilderness of Beth Aven. From there, the boundary went south to Luz. This is Bethel, right? And proceeded down to Atheroth Adar on the hill that lies south of Lower Beth Horon. The boundary then made a turn and swung south along the western edge to the hill facing Beth Horon, ending at the village of Kiriath Baal. This is Kiriath Jearim, a town belonging to the tribe of Judah. This was the western boundary. The southern boundary began at the outskirts of Kiriath Jearim. From the western point, it ran to the spring at the waters of Nephatoah, and down to the base of the mountain, besides the valley of Ben Himnan, at the northern end of the valley of Rephaim. From there, it went down the valley of Himnan, crossing south of the slope where the Jebusites lived, and continued down to En-Rogel. From En-Rogel, the boundary proceeded in a northerly direction and came to En-Shemesh and on to Gileath. And Gileath is across the slopes of Adumim. Then it went down to the stone of Bohan, and Bohan was Reuben's son. So from there it passed along the north side of the slope overlooking the Jordan Valley. The border then went down into the valley, ran past the north slope of Beth Hogla, and ended up at the north bay of the Dead Sea, which is the southern end of the Jordan River. This was the southern boundary. The eastern boundary was the Jordan River. These were the boundaries of the homeland allocated to the clans of the tribes of Benjamin. The towns given to Benjamin. These were the towns given to the clans of the tribe of Benjamin: Jericho, Beth Hogla, Emek Keziz, Beth Araba, Zemorami, Bethel, Avim, Para, Afra, Ofra, Afra, bruh. Kefrahar, Ammoni, Ophni, and Geba. 12 towns with their surrounding villages. Also Gideon, Ramah, Beeroth, Mizpah, Kephirah, Mazah, Rakim, Irpel, Kerala, Zillah, Halaphah, and the Jebusite town that is Jerusalem. And then there is Gibeah and Kiriath Jearim. 14 towns with their surrounding villages. This was the homeland allocated to the clans of the tribe of Benjamin. Yay! There's more! Ooh, there's the land given to Simon. The second allotment of land went to the clans of the tribe of Simon. Their homeland was surrounded by Judah's territory. Simon's homeland included Beersheba, Sheba, Moladah, Harza, Shula, Bala, Ezem, Etholad, Bethul, Hormah, Ziklah, Beth Markabah, Hazar Susa, Beth Lebathoth, and Sharuhen. 13 towns with their surrounding villages. It also included Ain, Rimmon, Ether, and Ashan. 4 towns with their surrounding villages, including all the surrounding villages as far south as Balath-beer, also known as Ramah of the Negev. This was the homeland allotted to the clans of the tribe of Simon. Their allocation of land came from part of what had been given to Judah because Judah's territory was too large for them. So the tribe of Simon received an allocation within the territory of Judah. The land given to Zebulun. The third allotment of land went to the clans of the tribe of Zebulun. The boundary of Zebulun's homeland started at Sarid. From there it went west, going past Maralah, touching Dabesheth, and proceeding to the brook east of Jokneam. In the other direction, the boundary went east from Sarid to the border of Kisloth Tabor, and from there to Dabrath, and up to Japhia. Then it continued east to Gath Hefer, Eth-Kazin, and Rimmon, and turned towards Nia, the northern boundary of Zebulun, past Hanathan, and ended in the valley of Iftael. The towns in these areas included Katheth, Nahala, Shimron, Idalah, and Bethlehem. 12 towns with their surrounding villages. The homeland allocated to the clans of the tribe of Zebulun included these towns and their surrounding villages. I need a break. I need a break. Yeah. So we are going to pause at Joshua 19:17. And I'm just gonna breathe. That's all. What did I say, 1917? 19... Maybe this will be a two-parter, and where I just finish here. I just finish off 19, and then we come back, and I do the rest. What were we reading today? Oh, I didn't even write it, did I? Oops. Okay. Well, that's okay. We read through 13 to 21. We are in 19 now, so it's pretty much about the halfway point, okay? And I've just never been worn out by our reading before. Like, I've actually been pretty energized. And right now, all the names of these towns is like I know it's important too. Like, I don't even want to skip it, because like the importance of it is to show how God kept his promise and how enriched the tribes of Israel were with with all of their land and their allotments according to size. And he cares about each one. So like, I get it, and it's just so many names, okay? And it's geography, and it's really I don't like geography. But I'm not trying to be stubborn in all this, So like, yeah. So we're going from 13 to 21. I feel like 19 is a good stopping point. Or I can hit that little play button again and just have someone else do everything. Have someone else do it. Like, oh, and I'm out of water, so I might as well I will be back later, guys. Is there actually a pause button? Can I pause? Can I pause the stream? There is no pause button. Okay. Hello. Ooh, I may have came back with the hiccups. But it's okay. It is okay. Yeah. We're just gonna get back into where we left off, which was Joshua 19:17. And then go through there. We can do it. We can do it from here. Let's go. The land given to Issachar. The fourth allotment of land went to the clans of the tribe of Issachar. Its boundaries included the following towns: Jezreel, Kelsaloth, Shunem, Hapharaim, Shion, Anaharath, Rabith, that feels right. Kishon, Ebzi, Remeth, and Ganim, and Ganim, and Hada, and Beth Pezah. The boundary also touched Tabor, Shahazuma, and Beth Shemesh, ending at the Jordan River, 16 towns with their surrounding villages. The homeland allocated to the clans of the tribes of Issachar included these towns and their surrounding villages. The land given to Asher. The fifth allotment of land went to the clans of the tribe of Asher. The boundaries included the towns Helkath, Hali, Bethan, Akshif, Al-Lamelech, Amad, and Mishal. The boundary on the west touched Carmel and Shihor Libnath. Then it turned eastward toward Beth Dagon and ran as far as Zebulun in the valley of Iphtahel, going north to Beth Ekem and Neo. It continued north to Kabul, Abdon, Rahab, Hamath, Kana, and as far as Greater Shidon. Then the boundary turned toward Ramah and the fortress of Tyre. Where it turned towards Hosha and came to the Mediterranean Sea. The territory also included Mahelbel, Ekzib, Amma, Afek, and Rehob, 22 towns with their surrounding villages. The homeland allotted to the clans of the tribe of Asher included these towns and their surrounding villages. The land given to Naphtali. The sixth allotment of land went to the clans of the tribes of Naphtali. Its boundary ran from Heleph, from the oak of Zananim, and extended across to Adaim, Nekeb, Jabneel, and as far as Lakum, ending at the Jordan River. The western boundary ran past Asnath, Tabor, then to Hukok, and touched the boundary of Zebulun in the south, and the border of Asher in the west, and the Jordan River on the east. The fortified towns included in this territory were Zibdom, Zir, Hamath, Rakath, Kinnereth, Adamah, Ramah, Hazor, Kadesh, Edrei, in Hazor, Yiron. Why is it so close? Yiron, Migdal El Horim, Beth Anath, and Beth Shemesh, 19 towns with their surrounding villages. The homeland allocated to the clans of the tribe of Naphtali included these towns and their surrounding villages. The land given to Dan. The seventh allotment of land went to the clans of Dan. The land allotted to their the land allocated to their homeland included the following towns: Zorah, Eshtaol, Ir, Shemesh, Shalabim, Ajalon, Ithlal, Elon, Timnah, Ekron, El Tekeh, Gibbethon, Balath, Jehud, and then Bene Barak, and then it's Gath, Rimmon, and then Rakan, and the territory across from Joppa. But the tribe of Dan had trouble taking possession of their land, so they attacked the town of Laish. They captured it, slaughtered its people, and settled there. They renamed the town Dan after their ancestor. The homeland allotted to the clans of the tribe of Dan included these towns and their surrounding villages. The land given to Joshua. After all the land was divided among the tribes, the Israelites gave a piece of land to Joshua as his allocation. For the Lord had said he could have any town he wanted. He chose Timnath Serah in the hill country of Ephraim. He rebuilt the town and lived there. These are the territories that Eleazar the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the tribal leaders allocated as grants of land to the tribes of Israel by casting sacred lots in the presence of the Lord at the entrance of the tabernacle at Shiloh. So the division of the land was completed. Yay! The division of the lands. From Genesis, right? From Genesis, this land. This is like a final tying. This is like the end of the movie, you know? Like, the promises has been received. The overarching plot is sort of coming to an end. It was a fight to get all the Israelites to rally their faith and go and conquer the land that was promised to their ancestors, and we are here. So we have received the allotment of lands. Okay, now we are on Joshua 20. The cities of refuge. The Lord said to Joshua, "Now tell the Israelites to designate the cities of refuge as I instructed Moses. Anyone who kills another person accidentally and unintentionally can run to one of these cities. They will be places of refuge from relatives seeking revenge for the person who was killed. Upon reaching one of these cities, the one who caused the death will appear before the elders at the city gate and present his case. They must allow him to enter the city and give him a place to live among them. If the relatives of the victim come to avenge the killing, the leaders must not release the slayer to them, for he killed the other person unintentionally and without previous hostility. But the slayer must stay in the city and be tried by the local assembly, which will render a judgment, and he must continue to live in the city until the death of the high priestess who was in office at the time of the accident. After that, he is free to return to his own home in the town which he fled." The following cities were designated as cities of refuge: Kadesh of Galilee in the hill country of Naphtali, Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, and Kiriath Arba, this is Hebron. This is also the land that Caleb has, in the hill country of Judah. On the east side of the Jordan River, across from Jericho, the following cities were designated: Bezer in the wilderness plain of the tribe of Reuben, Ramoth in Gilead in the territory of the tribe of Gad, and Golan in Bashan in the land of the tribe of Manasseh. These cities were set apart for all the Israelites as well as the foreigners living among them. Anyone who accidentally killed another person can take refuge in one of these cities. In this way, they could escape being killed in revenge prior to standing trial before the local assembly. The tribes given to the Levites. Right? Then the leaders of the tribe of Levi came to consult with Eleazar the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the leaders of the other tribes of Israel. They came to them at Shiloh in the land of Canaan and said, "The Lord commanded Moses to give us towns to live in and pasture lands for our livestock. So by the command of the Lord, the people of Israel gave the Levites the following towns and pasture lands out of their own grants of land. The descendants of Aaron, who were members of the Kohathite clan within the tribe of Levi, were allotted 13 towns that were originally assigned to the tribes of Judah, Simon, and Benjamin. The other families of the Kohath clan were allotted 10 towns from the tribes of Ephraim, Dan, and the half-tribe of Manasseh. The clan of Gershon was allotted 13 towns from the tribes of Issachar, Asher, and Naphtali, and the half-tribe of Manasseh in Bashan. The tribe of Merari, the clan of Merari, I don't feel like I'm reading that right. Let's just figure it out real quick.
The clan of Merari was allotted 12.
The clan of Merari was allotted 12 towns from the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and Zebulun. So the Israelites obeyed the Lord's commands to Moses and assigned these towns and pasture lands to the Levites by casting sacred lots. The Israelites gave the following towns from the tribes of Judah and Simon to the descendants of Aaron, who were members of the Kohathite clan within the tribe of Levi, since the sacred lot fell to them first. Kiriath Arba, this is Hebron, in the hill country of Judah, along with its surrounding pasture lands. Arba was an ancestor of Anak, right? But the open fields beyond the town and the surrounding villages were given to Caleb, son of Jephunneh, as his possession. The following towns with their pasture lands were given to the descendants of Aaron the priest: Hebron, a city of refuge for those who accidentally killed someone; Libnah, Jattir, Eshtemoh, Holon, Debir, Ain, Jutta, and Beth Shemesh, 9 towns from these 2 tribes. From the tribe of Benjamin, the priests were given the following towns with their pasture lands: Gibeon, Gibba, Athohoth, and Anathoth, and Almon, 4 towns. So in all, 13 towns with their pasture lands were given to the priests, the descendants of Aaron. The rest of the Kohathite clan from the tribe of Levi was allotted the following towns and pasture lands from the tribe of Ephraim: Shechem, in the hill country of Ephraim, a city of refuge for those who accidentally killed someone; Gezer, Kibzaim, and Beth Horon, 4 towns. The following towns and pasture lands were allotted to the priests from the tribe of Dan: El-Tekek, Gibbethon, Aijalon, and Gath-Rimmon, 4 towns. The half-tribe of Manasseh allotted the following towns with their pasture lands to the priests. Tanakh and Gath Rimmon, 2 towns. In all, 10 towns with their pasture lands were given to the rest of the Kohathite clan. The descendants of Gershon, another clan within the tribe of Levi, received the following towns with their pasture lands from the half-tribe of Manasseh: Golan in Bashan, a city of refuge for those who accidentally killed someone, and Beestra, 2 towns. From the tribe of Issachar, they received the following towns with their pasture lands: Kishion, Babirath, Jarmuth, and In Ganim, 4 towns. From the tribe of Asher, they received the following towns with their pasture lands: Mishhal, Abdon, Helkatath, and Rehob, 4 towns. From the tribe of Naphtali, they received the following towns with their pasture lands: Kadesh in Galilee, a city of refuge for those who accidentally killed someone; Hamath Dor, and Kartan, 3 towns. So in all, 13 towns with their pasture lands were allotted to the clan of Gershon. The rest of the Levites, the Merari clan, were given the following towns with their pasture lands from the tribe of Zebulun: Jokneam, Jokneam, Kartha, Thimnah, and Nahalal, 4 towns. From the tribe of Reuben, they received the following towns with their pasture lands: Bezer, Gahaz, Kedemoth, and Mephahath, 4 towns. From the tribes of Gad, they received the following towns with their pasture lands: Ramoth in Gilead, a city of refuge for those who accidentally kill someone, and Mahanaim, Heshbon, and Gazir, 4 towns. So in all, 12 towns were allotted to the clan of Merari. The total number of towns and pasture lands within Israelite territory given to the Levites came to 48. Everyone and all these towns had pasture lands surrounding it. Everyone of these towns had pasture land surrounding it. So the Lord gave to Israel all the land he had sworn to give their ancestors, and they took possession of it and settled there. And the Lord gave them rest on every side, just as he had solemnly promised their ancestors. None of their enemies could stand against them, for the Lord helped them conquer all their enemies. Not a single one of all the good promises the Lord had given to the family of Israel was left unfulfilled. Everything he had spoken came true. Yes! And that's the victory right there. So from 43 to 45, Joshua 21, 43 to 45, we receive the victory of God's promises. And this has been over 400 years in the making, right? Over near 500 years in the making. So this is promises delivered, right? Because 45 years pass. We don't need to do all the math, but there's the whole enslavement history. Like Abraham is promised something, and then there's a 400-year time skip, the enslavement period, the rescuing, then the 40 years in the wilderness, and then the conquering, which was about 5 years before they even went to go get the rest of the land that Caleb took, right? And so that's another, I don't know how many years, because they didn't say quite yet. But all of this came to pass, and all of the promises were fulfilled. What was I reading the other day? I think it was biblical, obviously. Actually, it was this morning. It was biblical, and it talked about how God's words last; they're everlasting, and His promises are not to. It's not now. They're not in your face right now kind of promises. They are, I have you until the end of time kind of promises. You know? Okay. We're in Psalms. For the choir director, a song, a psalm of David. Rise up, O God, and scatter your enemies. Let those who hate God run for their lives. Blow them away like smoke. Melt them like wax in a fire. Let the wicked perish in the presence of God. But let the godly rejoice. Let them be glad in God's presence. Let them be filled with joy. Sing praises to God and to His name. Sing loud praises to Him sing loud praises to Him who rides the clouds. His name is the Lord. Rejoice in His presence. Father to the fatherless, defender of widows, this is God, whose dwelling is holy. God places the lonely in families. He sets the prisoners free and gives them joy, but He makes the rebellious live in a sun-scorched land. Oh God, let you lead your people out from Oh God, when you led your people out from Egypt, you marched through the dry wasteland, the earth trembled and the heavens poured down rain before you, and God of Sinai before God, the God of Israel. What am I saying? If we revalue verse 8, it's the earth trembled and the heavens poured down rain before you, the God of Sinai, before God, the God of Israel. So these are all just His separate titles. You sent abundant rain, O God, to refresh the weary land. There your people finally settled, and with a bountiful harvest, O God, you provided for your needy people. The Lord gives the word, and a great army brings good news. Enemy kings and their armies flee, while the women of Israel divide the plunder. Even those who lived among the sheepfolds found treasures. Sheepfolds? Found treasures. Doves with wings of silver and feathers of gold. The Almighty scattered the enemy kings like a blowing snowstorm on Mount Zalmon. The mountains of Bashan are majestic, with their peaks stretching high into the sky. Why do you look with envy, O rugged mountains, at Mount Zion, where God has chosen to live, where the Lord Himself will live forever? Surrounded by unnumbered thousands of chariots, the Lord came from Mount Sinai into His sanctuary. When you ascended to the heights, you led a crowd of captives. You received gifts from the people, even from those who rebelled against you. Now the Lord God will live among us there. Praise the Lord. Praise God our Savior, for each day He carries us in His arms. Our God is a God who saves. The sovereign Lord rescues us from death. But God will smash the heads of His enemies. But God will smash the heads of His enemies, crushing the skulls of those who love their guilty ways. The Lord says, I will bring my enemies down from Bashan, and I will bring them up from the depths of the sea. You, my people, will wash your feet in their blood, and even your dogs will get their share. Your possession, your procession has come into view. O God, the procession of my God and King as he goes into the sanctuary. Singers are in front, musicians behind. Between them are young women playing tambourines. Praise God, all you people of Israel. Praise the Lord, the source of Israel's life. Look, the little tribe of Benjamin leads the way. Then comes a great throng of rulers from Judah and all the rulers of Zebulun and Naphtali. Summon your might, O God. Display your power, O God, as you have in the past. The kings of the earth are bringing tribute to your temple in Jerusalem. Rebuke these enemy nations, these wild animals lurking in the reeds, this herd of bulls among the weaker cows. Make them bring bars of silver and humble tribute. Scatter the nations that delight in war. Let Egypt come with gifts of precious metals. Let Ethiopia bring tribute to God. Sing to God, your kingdoms of the earth. Sing to God, you kingdoms of the earth. Sing praises to the Lord. Sing to the one who rides across the ancient heavens, his mighty voice thundering from the sky. Tell everyone about God's power. His majesty shines down on Israel. His strength is mighty in the heavens. God is awesome in his sanctuary. The God of Israel gives power and strength to his people. Praise be to God. Praise be to God. Let's go. That is the Psalm of David. Okay. It speaks of pretty much all of it. Like God's conquering, God's bringing his people out of Egypt, God marching along with his people, God making a home on Mount Sinai, making all the other mountains jealous, God accepting gifts from his people, the sacrifices and offerings, even from those who rebelled against him. It talks about the procession on how the tribes of Joseph were set up. The tribes of Israel were set up when they walked through with with the Ark of the Covenant. It goes in, and it's sort of going through their past history of David, and he's honoring the history of God's greatness, and then it goes into this future of the power God displays when all of the other kingdoms will start to bring tribute, and he's gonna make all the other nations scatter, and he's let Egypt come with gifts of precious metals. This is the corrupt place that we pulled people out of Egypt. You told the Israelites never to trade with Egypt, never to really go into Egypt, for they will become enslaved again and stuff. But they will bring gifts of precious metals to God and and their territories, even Ethiopia. And now all the kingdoms of earth sing God's praises. It's almost commanding, sing to his praises. His majesty shines down on Israel, right? across the ancient heavens, his mighty voice thundering from the sky. God is awesome in his sanctuary. The God of Israel gives power and strength to his people. Praise be to God. Because it gives power and strength to his people. Power and strength to his people. What kind of power are you going to God to receive? Like, what kind of strength do you try to renew yourself in daily? It actually struck me. Like, I was kind of in awe of myself today when I was kind of driving to and from with my friends, and today was kind of just a weird day on the road. Like, there were a lot of avoided accidents because people were out here driving silly. There were a couple of incidents of a horn blaring and near crashes. And each moment there was just a calmness. I mean, I was like, that's not how it goes down today. The calmness of protection. That's what I felt like I was feeling in those moments. Not because usually you feel like some kind of like shock or some like a kind of like shake, or like it just kind of rumbles you and you're like, oh my god, I almost got into an accident today. And that happened several times today. But like, no, I never doubted. I was just so calm. Like I never doubted that we avoided an accident. That accident was meant for us in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, yes, it was avoided because of the protections, the hedges up, so you can sing whatever you want. You can try to stop whatever you want, but the hedge is up. And until, not saying that, every time accidents happen, or when they happen, it's because the hedge is down. But everything that happens to me is part of God's decisions for me. So there's just a calmness in that. Everything that happens to me is part of his decisions for me. It's how I am reacting to his how am I reacting to his presence? How am I engaging with his spirit? How am I receiving his word? How am I giving back to the community around me? How am I dealing with my emotional flare-ups? How am I dealing with my forgiveness, my anger, my impatience? How am I managing myself so that my spirit can be well, and so that I can know that everything I am trying to become is a seeker of the Lord? Because that's what it is. Everything I'm trying to become is a seeker of the Lord, and everything else is just white noise. Static. Granted, generations today probably don't know how annoying static is. Like, when's the last time we've heard static? Like, that's all I really wanted to say. Like, I had to acknowledge that was a moment of power, and not strength, but serenity, which I guess requires a bit of strength. Like, I don't know if you had to mix emotions, if you would pour in a little bit of strength with the calm to get serenity. But I appreciated that. I was thankful for that, and I was in love with that portion of my faith, watching it be displayed, or feeling it like, oh wait, I know I'm good. It's a weird. It was nice. I want more. Anyway, until next time, I will see y'all tomorrow, and then we can get through reading some more chapters. Bye bye.